Welcome again to another model review. This time is the 172 scale Imperial Japanese Army, or I wouldn't say Imperial Japanese Army. I think the correct version is the Japanese Army Self-Defense Force. So one of the earliest tanks that was produced and given to the Japanese Army after the defeat in World War II was this ST-A-2 medium tank. This was actually used by the Japanese Army self-defense forces after their defeat in World War II. So I think the earliest I can recall when this tank was operational by the Japanese Army was by Japan was maybe back in the 1950s and 60s. So I got this. This is actually a 3D printed model or a resin printed model, which I actually got for free upon buying one of the items online. So I'm not really a fan. I'm not really. I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I'm not. I love armored categories as well, but I'm not really a die-hard fan in terms of armor. So sometimes I don't really have the best I would say interest in terms of skills, especially building a beautiful model. But of course this one actually this was one of my entries in the recent Malcolm 2026 competition, and of course with my surprisingly, no, not really surprisingly, it didn't actually win any medals. And of course, yeah, it is. I actually made this model in 2 days time, so I think the amount of effort and work that went into making this model in the very last minute was really something that lesson learned, and I didn't really expect anything from this model, from this entry. I was more hoping on other entries as well. You can actually see the whole idea of this, I would say, a diorama or a vignette. It's more like this tank in one of these trenches, excuse me, practicing for shooting range for the tank division. So of course this tank is actually comes with separated parts of the main gun, certain other parts. These are all attached to it. So I actually put some detail highlight, silver detail highlight. I want to make it more weathered, so a bit of some sort of mixture, weathering mixture onto this tank, as well as some dirt, oil pigments for the engine here, and of course a bit of rust, and even for the guns, the highlights in terms of the gun barrels. Sometimes they always chip off their dark flat paint, and of course the wheels. Some of the wheels are not really attached, so that could possibly be why it didn't actually get any medals in the modeling competition. But of course, and of course the antennas. Actually, I think one thing, using plastic sprue as an antenna, after a while they just give away their form, and I think using metal or much more refined material is the way to go, because sometimes after few minutes or few days it just becomes cluttered up and it doesn't really look like an antenna. It looks very, very, I don't know, it just doesn't look realistic, and even doesn't really look aesthetically appealing. Same goes here. This frontage, you can actually see a bit of highlights there, silvering highlights, a bit of the tanks, tracks, and of course the bit of pigmentation there, a bit of rust. I wanted to make it look, like it was a weathered tank, and maybe I think from my argument, from my perspective, I think it is not too flat enough. I think iron does not look a bit too glossy. There's a bit of glossy effect on the tank. But it looks really good in real life with your eyes. But of course, once in camera, it looks a bit different. But still, I think it could have been much better. But of course, this is our experiences. And of course this the diorama, of course, using cement trenches for the tank. Maybe I'll add up a bit of figures. See, I'm looking to sell these dioramas, of course, and I don't really have a lot of space. So yeah, these could be one of the tanks that I would actually able to sell. And a bit of damage here. The tag was, there was a cellophane tape that I wanted to protect and put underneath the display, because I was going there traveling using car. So it got snapped on the surface here, and a bit of this is actually paper print got torn off a bit. That could I might just remove the tag. And yeah, I mean, that's about it for this simple diorama. Imperial, it's not really imperial, is more like a Japanese army, post World War II, one of their first ever tanks that was reused by the Japanese armed forces then. And yeah, this is my build for the 172 armored scale model of this tank. Leave your thoughts and comments below. If there anything you want to know, or maybe you love to give your recommendation, please do. I really am welcome. Any one of you who watches this video, what are your comments? What could be improved? And thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.